Let me hit you with some facts, okay? Because what the fuck or not, job is a job, and you got to be able to pay the bills. And scientifically, scientists have gone to prove or claim that starting work before 10 a.m. is quote-unquote biological torture. Now, we all know that waking up and dragging your ass to work every morning is brutal, but now we've actually got some science on our side, and the facts indicate that it's almost healthy to snooze later than you might expect. Now, researchers at the Oxford University found that waking up and going to work before 10 a.m. is biologically unnatural. He even calls it the quote-unquote most common form of modern-day torture. This motherfucker just sounds like he's not a morning person, but he quotes, "We cannot change our 24-hour rhythms. You cannot learn to get up at a certain time." That's bullshit. Your liver and your heart have different patterns, and you're asking them to shift 2 or 3 hours, says Dr. Paul Kelly, Kelley. Kelly says that we have a natural human body clock that regulates brain activity, energy levels, hormone productions, and perception of time. Now, the human's body clock, known as circadian rhythm, ticks in accordance with the rising and setting of the sun. And I have read about how those who work like night shifts and shit, they typically live less, or they don't live as long as their counterparts because they don't see the sun as often. But as you know, the company you work for doesn't care about these inborn rhythms. Our lives are structured around maximizing business production and efficiency, and the peak American wake up time is between 6 and 6:30 a.m. That's why if you're out here in AZ, for damn sure you're gonna be hitting fucking traffic about that fucking time. Now, Kelly also says that going against the pulse of our natural circadian rhythms throws many aspects of our health out of balance. Shouts out to Verse, and he might be able to talk about this. Hopefully we will on the next I'm Black, He's Mexican podcast. But he tested the theory at a school in Britain, moving the start time of the class from 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. And the results found that the attendance, productivity, and the grades had all improved. Now, he is quoted to say that this is an international issue and that everybody is suffering, but don't have to. Now, unfortunately, you can't really pick the fucking hours you're working unless you have some kind of seniority. So, you're kind of fucked. Especially, again, if you're a quote-unquote morning person, you have to take care of this. And I kind of think that it's kind of bullshit, even though they say that the next time you're late, you're missing an important meeting, you could just, quote the fucking the circadian rhythm and, let them know, that it's better for productivity, but motherfuckers don't give a fuck. We got a business to run, and we operate within these fucking hours. And if I gotta work past this fucking hour, then there might be a law that I gotta pay you more, and Lord knows I don't want to do that shit. So I just know that a lot of those times, when it is that we need to get that sleep, because sometimes, especially if you're with kids, you might not be able to have all those chances. You gotta, like me myself, I gotta make sure everyone's up and running and on their way, and then once they're home, you gotta put in some FaceTime and do all that stuff and put them to bed, and then you might need to wait till everyone's asleep to be able to have your own personal time. So I get it. There's literally, truly not enough hours in the day to be able to do everything you're supposed to do. But just know that, if you're able to pick it, you might live a happier life. So that, and stay away from social media.